Well, I just acquired Izumo today, and she's the next step toward the Yamato. I've been low tier so far in my first three matches in her. Even had to face super ships in the last one. But here we are, high tier with 7, 8s, and 9s. We have 4 destroyers, 4 cruisers, 3 battleships, and 1 aircraft carrier on each side. I have spawned closest to Alpha Cap. I have one of the team's 2 radar cruisers on my side, the Cleveland. The Buffalo is over in the Bravo Cap in the middle. That's our other radar. The other team has a Seattle and a Buffalo. All right. Everybody's just jockeying around, getting into position. Cleveland was getting a slow start. So we have an Akatsuki here. That's a Japanese torpedo boat, Tier 7. The one that grows up to be the Shimakaze when she gets to Tier 10. However, at Tier 7, she still has pretty good torps for her tier. Doesn't have very good guns, and her concealment is nothing like it needs to be at 7.2 kilometers base. And she is most likely going to be up against a Mahan, and a Mahan is the American destroyer that is a good gunboat. Has good torps too, 3 sets of torps, 2 on each side, 1 in the middle. I use Mahan quite a bit when I play around at Tier 7. Now, his torps are only the 6.4s, so he's going to be detected before he can use his torps. So I doubt he has built up his captain very much. Alright, looks like Iowa wants to shoot at me. I'm going to slow down, turn in, and see if I can't make some of them miss. I did. Bounced a couple. Took minimal damage. A little over 4,000 damage on that without giving any back. But right now, I'm watching for that Buffalo that we saw there for a second. If I can pop that Buffalo's bubble, there he is, then he won't come in so close and harass our DD, whom I think he might have radar on. Okay, kind of a quick shot here, and I'm shooting HE. Well, that's a waste. Doggone it. That's because I was dealing with a destroyer in my last game and still had the HE loaded. Okay, well, our Benson was able to take out the Mahan over on the other side, so I can see on the mini-map we have a Lightning on this side. Oh, good. I got a Citadel on that Buffalo. Yeah, that definitely adjusts his attitude. There's a Hampshire over here, too. I don't know too much about the Hampshire. Ooh, okay. That Iowa is getting some good chunks in on me right now, but I need to keep on this Buffalo because he's more dangerous to my DDs than Iowa is to me. Getting turned. My rear turret, which is forward part of the ship, just joined the fight. It takes a long time to get out here. Oh good, okay, Mogador finished off the Buffalo. There's the Lightning. Here come the Lightning's torps behind me. He sent him single fire. Didn't spread them out a whole lot though, so I lucked out there. Okay. Now the DD is more dangerous than the battleship is right now, so let's see if we can't help out by taking him down. Though the Mogador can probably take care of him too. Mogadors are the French Tier 9 DD. Very fast, no smoke, very good guns. If he has a good driver, he's a dangerous ship, and obviously he's a dangerous ship. Because he's just getting started, and he already has 2 kills. Now, I am not spotted. Mogador is trying to circle back to get into Alpha. Our Akatsuki needs to go on in there. He has nothing to worry about now. Mogador cleaned up the opposition. I have sent up my spotter plane so I can try to see some targets, but those guys are all out of range. But I know there's something in here. But darn it, I can't reach the ones I want to reach. Alright, that's what I was looking for, was that Hampshire. I just reminded them to capture Area A because they're dinking around and we're wasting points. Alright, Hampshire. Don't know if you're going to keep turning, but if you straighten out, you're in trouble. You disappeared, which means I lost target lock. Yeah, 1 overpin. Okay. He's the only one that can see me right now. Prince Heinrich is telling our CV to run because it looks like the enemy team might be busting through over on the far east side there on Charlie Cap. Health-wise, we're in pretty good shape, but they have a lot of ships there. Alright, there's the Iowa. Try to get my guns aimed at her. Oh, spotter plane finished up. That's actually easier to aim. It's a little weird, the point of view you get from the spotter plane, but sometimes it lets me see over islands, and it definitely gives me range, and I was hoping to make better use of her than that. Alright, turning away, and everything missed. Boy, Iowas do not normally miss that bad, but you can. They can be really hard to catch somebody at range because they have such floaty shells. Okay, if he turns in a little bit, I'm going to clock him. Yeah, there you go. Yep, I did. Citadel. 2 full pins, 1 overpin. Alright. I doubt he's going to let me get another one of those on him. He's turning in now. These will probably bounce, but yep, they did. 2 ricochets. Alright. Well, something is over here in Bravo Cap. And it looks like that Hampshire showed up here. Okay, now Hampshire does have torps at 10K. He's throwing... Oh. Well, I reset the cap on him, but it was just 1 overpin. Really don't know what the Hampshire's lineage is, other than it's British. I think it's one of their heavy cruisers. It's not like... it's not one of them that gets smoke, that's for sure. 3 more overpins. Okay. Alright, I don't think he knows that I had 1 more turret ready. Oh, yeah, if I hit him, I'll take him out. There you go. I kind of stole that kill from the Cleveland, but... Alright, I don't know if I was shooting at Cleveland or me. Looks like more at the Cleveland. Alright, now we have this Colorado up here that's harassing our flank, and if he gets shells into our Shikaku, we could lose our carrier. I'd rather not lose our carrier. Now, Colorado looks like a big beefy ship, and it is, but it doesn't have really good armor. So if I can get a decent broadside, I'll do some good damage to him. Otherwise, I'm going to switch over to HE. Yeah, he's angled just enough. Still got 2 good pins on him. Alright, somebody else is shooting at me. Cherbourg, maybe. Alright, I'm switching to HE, and then I'm just going to ignore Cherbourg, even though she's got darn good guns. Alright. I might yoink this kill too. Yeah, I did. Hey, a kill's a kill. We couldn't wait for it. I need to get turned around where I can see what's coming at us. And of course, Iowa is coming around. They're going to try to steal Charlie Cap. Switch back to AP. Alright. He's giving me a good broadside. Let's see what it does. Well, 2 pins, 1 overpin, 1 and 2 ricochets, so it did something. Now he's going behind an island, but I think he's coming through. I am just getting my guns turned. I won't have that back turret, but if I can get the front turrets ready. Sorry for the shaky camera work, but sometimes I have to switch angles real quick. Okay. Now, let's see. This might do a heck of a job on him. Yes, it did. 2 citadels, 5 pins. He should not have just sailed right out there like that. Iowa is a Tier 9 battleship. They're the famous American battleship line. Iowa, Missouri, New Jersey, Wisconsin. Great ships. But you just can't do that too in Izumo, because I'm a Yamato basically for Tier 9. Oh, darn. I sure whiffed on that Gneiss now. Okay, well, let's concentrate on Cherbourg. Cherbourg is a French heavy cruiser. Very fast. Looks like she's speed boosting. Doesn't have very good armor, but does have fearsome guns. Well, game over. Good job. Okay, let's take a look at those stats. We got a pizza party. 101, almost 102,000 in damage. 41 target hits. 12 overpins, 20 full pins, and 9 that didn't do any damage at all. Destroyed 3 ships. Knocked down 3 aircraft. I don't remember seeing a whole lot of aircraft, but apparently there were, and got 4 hits to the enemy citadels. Got 4 defended ribbons too. That all adds up. So, top of the leaderboard, 1,681 base XP. So That's not too bad. Definitely livable. Our Kagero got a devastating strike. Came in second. So I will comp him. Cleveland did pretty well, but I'm kind of running out of comps, so I need to hold on to him for something special now. Okay, so I fired 15 high explosives, 135 armor piercing for a total of 150 shells fired, and I connected with a total of 41 of them. So less than a third. Yuck. Well, I know that Izumo can be more accurate, but I was also firing at range, and I make that excuse a lot, but there's always going to be a little bit of dispersion, especially involved with battleships. Okay, I had 980,000 in potential damage, so not real high, but uh, enough. Plenty to, especially with the shots the Iowa was taking at me, even though he was missing, they were close enough that that's where the potential damage came from. All right, so I did knock out that Iowa, knocked out the Colorado. That was a bit of a yoink shot, but we got him before he got our aircraft carrier. Knocked out the Hampshire before he took the cap, and then knocked out that Buffalo. Put a little damage on the Cherbourg, and I guess the Shokaku had sent some planes at me, but they didn't bother me too much, so I knocked out 3 of them. And brought in only 155,000 in credits, so not a lot, but I'm not using a whole lot of my economic boosters or anything for that. I did bring in 25,000 in ship XP, with a little over 1,000 of that going to free XP to make up for that I spent to buff up my captain a little bit. Speaking of the captain, I got another 290 in Elite Commander XP, and then 5,800 that'll go directly to this captain. So let's take a look at him. All right, so I put Izumo in the Fjords map in the port, and this is a pretty port. Now the Izumo, just like all the Japanese battleships, has that huge superstructure where the bridge is, and then they have some sort of fire control spotting up high up, and all of her fire control directors. There's some AA in there, and then her secondaries, but she is different than all of her other Japanese battleships in that all of her main guns are up forward. She has 2 turrets with 3 barrels each that are pointed directly forward, and they rotate easily side to side. It's not too hard keeping those on target. That 3rd turret, the way it's mounted on there, it has to rotate completely around, and it's an awkward turret to use. So when I'm in a hurry to get a shot away, sometimes I have to expose my broadside a little more than I like. But it works okay, I guess. I mean, she did a good job there. All right, and she does have a spotter plane, which I use from time to time. So kind of a different ship. I will see how I like her as I progress through this grind toward the Yamato, which is next in line. Okay, so I stole this captain from one of my other ships. I think it might have been from the Nagato. I cannot remember, but I stole him. He had, I think, like 15 points, 14 points, I guess. He had 14 points. And then I boosted him up using my Elite Commander XP. And so that was enough that I was able to put my emergency repair expert on there to give me the extra heals. So I am running gun feeder, so I can switch shell types, which I oftentimes do when I've got an HE type target like a DD or a battleship that's got his bow on to me and I want to be able to hit him. Then I have grease the gears, try to move those guns around a little quicker, but they're still going to be slow. Now I'm running vigilance because when I was first working up this captain, I thought I needed it, but when I get enough Commander XP built up, I may change that out because I would like to either beef up my AA. I definitely wouldn't mind having concealment because I have pretty terrible concealment right now. I think I'm about 15k. Yeah, I'm detected at 15k right now. I don't think I can get it under 13, but I sure wouldn't mind trying. But I do run basics of survivability, so when I catch fire, then that puts the fires out a little quicker. And when I take a flood, take a torp, then it'll repair the flood a little more quickly too. And then I'm running that emergency repair expert so that I have an extra heal, which a lot of times in the longer battles you use them all. And then I'm running fire prevention expert so that it cuts down on my risk of catching fire, and then it reduces the number of fires down to 3 instead of the normal 4. And only one of those can be on my superstructure. So that is a lot of help. All right, looking at the equipment here, I didn't quite get everything. I didn't see that this propulsion was going to be a big deal, so it only adds 0.8 knots, so I'm at 27.2 instead of 28. Oh well. If there was something more useful about that, I'd be willing to spend the extra. But I did beef up the main battery firing range to 21.7 instead of the normal 19.7, so that helps a little bit. And then right away, I went for hull B so that I got 78.9 on my hit points instead of the normal 76.5. A little bit extra helps out, and I added some more AA when I did it, and that always helps too. Okay, so I'm running main armaments mod 1, so helps keep my guns from getting knocked out. Damage control systems mod 1 to help reduce the risk of catching fire or taking a flood from torps. Still going to happen, but it reduces the chance. Aiming systems mod 1 that reduces the dispersion, so when I shoot at something, my shells don't scatter too bad, but they still scatter. I'm a battleship. That's the way it is. Damage control systems mod 1, I thought about this as to whether I wanted that or go with the propulsion systems mod 1 so that I could get a little bit of throttle juking in, but so far I've been kind of liking that damage control systems mod 2 because it sometimes you get a fire on you and it's only one. You don't want to repair it and then you end up letting it burn. So that cuts it down by the amount of damage it's going to do. Then I have Concealment Systems Mod 1 that does reduce my detectability down by a smidgen. 10% off helps a little bit, but I am still going to be detected by quite a ways out. But the other options on that, Torpedo Lookout Systems, I've never heard that really helps. I turn so slow that I doubt I could really avoid anything. And then the consumables modification, the action time on them would just extend out my spotter aircraft by an extra 10%, but I generally don't get maximum use out of that either, so I'll stay with this one. I do run the main battery mod 3 that reloads quicker. However, it slows down my main battery traverse, but it's really nice. The more often that I can send shells downrange, they're hitting something, doing damage, and hopefully getting the other ships out of the fight. So that was Izumo. That was our fourth match. Yep, 4 matches. So far, she's undefeated. I doubt we're going to keep that way, but that's still pretty good. And oh, darn, I didn't get any extra karma. Been at 86 all day long. Okay, well, anyway, that was a decent battle as she goes through her apprenticeship.